What is going on? Welcome to the 8 key rules you need to prime your physique and your mindset, right? We all know you need to eat good, train hard, sleep well, drink lots of water to get in shape. But if you want to become the best version of yourself, it's going to have to come from a much deeper level. It's going to have to come from something inside. By the end of this presentation, you're going to have a complete roadmap of how you can overcome your limiting self-beliefs, all right? How you're going to push through your struggles and achieve your absolute prime. These proven strategies, not kidding you, have helped hundreds of men break through plateaus and build lives of strength, confidence, and purpose. Okay, so without further doubt, let's jump straight into it, right? Let's begin this process of building. The first rule is going to be self-honesty, right? No matter where you're at right now in life, if you want to take your physique and your mindset to that next level, you genuinely do have to sit down with yourself and have a word, right? Because it's so easy nowadays to be caught up in everything that's going on in your life and you're so go, but you never have actual any time to prioritize you, have some self-reflection and have that much needed self-talk to know where you're going. All right, so the first rule is going to be self-honesty and understanding where you're at, right? The foundation of the transformation begins with brutal honesty of where you're currently at in life and what you truly stand with today. So first off, identifying your limiting beliefs, right? You literally need to write them down without any filters or excuses. So everything that you can think of what's going on in your life right now and in your opinion, what are the things that are holding you back? Because I know that you know there are a few things. We all have a few things that are holding us back, right? We all have a few things. We need to be tracking our daily actions versus justifications to build self-awareness. We need to measure your current fitness metrics objectively, body composition, strength, your endurance, your weight, exactly where you're at right now, and obviously see where you'd like to get to, okay? Because it's all well or good and training good and eating good, but when you want a goal in mind, we need to break it down to a T. We need to be very, very specific. And we also need to acknowledge your emotional patterns that are sabotaging your own progress. It all starts with the mind. I've been there myself, guys. I'm being serious. The one thing that holds back so many men, the majority of the time, is their mindset and their limiting self-beliefs. The things that are going on in their head and the things that are telling them that they can't do it when they know they can, but they have this little voice inside of their head, their inner bitch, that just holds them back the most. So it's really, really important to break this down and understand exactly where you're at. And remember, you cannot improve what you refuse to measure or acknowledge. Okay, so if you're being too stubborn about it and you don't want to own up to the fact that this is holding you back, X is holding you back, Y, Z is holding you back. Say, for example, your mindset, your nutrition, your diet, getting out of bed at a good time. If you're too stubborn to acknowledge that and actually want to change it, majority of the time it's not going to change. You need to combat things day by day and combat these things week on week. And just the little things, it's always the micro things, right? The small habits that you're doing on a day-to-day basis that you know are holding you back, or you know that is limiting your potential through your own self-talk and your own knowledge. So remember, you cannot improve what you refuse to measure or acknowledge, right? So if you do really want to improve, you need to stop being so stubborn and actually sit down with yourself, have a little chat with yourself, understand exactly where you're at and what is holding you back. Because we all have a few things that we know are holding us back. But as humans, we're way too stubborn to acknowledge it. We just want to ignore it, right? The first step towards change is awareness. The second step is acceptance. So understand exactly where you're at, have a little chat with yourself, sit down and understand what is holding you back. Rule number 2, embracing the anti-fragile mindset, okay? When going through a transformation in life, if you do want to improve and become the best version of yourself, it is all going to start from the mindset. And how we're going to build a bulletproof mindset is through welcoming discomfort into our life. We need to be seeking out challenges rather than avoiding them. The easy thing is to always avoid them and just choose the thing that is the temporary quick fix and what makes us feel good at the moment, always chasing that dopamine. But if you want to grow, you need to be chasing discomfort. Okay? The anti-fragile mindset views difficulty as the necessary stimulus for growth. Your comfort zone is where potential dies. Exactly what I've just spoken about there. Okay? We need to use your setbacks to fuel. Okay? When you face obstacles, ask yourself this: how can this make me stronger? The things that you're avoiding, or maybe some challenges that you're going through in life, whether it's physical, mental, financial, whatever it may be, how can this fuel me and how can this actually turn from a negative into a positive and allow me to become the best version of yourself? Reframe failures as feedback and use criticism as data to improve rather than just reasons to give up and quit. Okay. Third one is building stress tolerance. Gradually expose yourself to increasingly difficult physical and mental challenges. This controlled exposure builds resilience and expands your capacity to handle life's pressures. If you're always avoiding the tough thing in life or the thing that sucks in the moment, but you know is going to make you feel good long term, you're never going to grow because you're always chasing the easy thing. The thing that feels good at the moment, but doesn't serve you any purpose long term. The thing that feels good at the moment, but gives you a little bit of anxiety later on. It just makes you feel overly shit, okay? So building stress tolerance, gradually exposing yourself to increasingly difficult physical and mental challenges over time is what's going to enable you to grow. It's all well and good setting these things in place, but you need to be progressing with it and making it harder over time to not only become physically stronger, but mentally. You always need to be progressing. It's like in the gym, progressive overload. It's the same with your mindset. Always chase things that are going to enable you and allow you to progress. Always chase the hard thing. Rule number 3 is building physical resilience. And how we're going to go about this is, first of all, focus on training through fundamental movements. It's all well and good training in the gym, doing a few bicep curls, doing some incline dumbbell press. But if you do want to become strong as fuck as a human being, you need to be focusing on the compound movements and functional strength. So push, pull, hinge, squat, carry, and rotate. The body's main movements. Progressive overload. You've probably heard me speak about this enough, okay? But in order to get stronger in the gym, and like I just said with your mindset, in order to grow mentally and physically, we need to be putting our body under strain and getting bigger and stronger with it over time, okay? So in the gym, for example, progressive overload, starting with a weight where you can do 6 to 8, okay? And then you're gradually working with that weight until you can do 10 to 12. Once you get into that 10 to 12 range, then it's in time to increase the weight and drop the reps again. Then we start again. It's a consistent cycle of progression. It's the same with your mindset. In the morning, for example, with my morning routine, I always do a morning walk first thing. But instead of just going for a walk, over time, what I'm doing is I'm gradually increasing the intensity or the duration, making it harder. So not only it basically just prevents me from hitting a plateau and gives me that reminder in my head that I'm always doing the hard thing and I'm always looking to progress. And that is giving myself some self-respect, right? Because I know that I've done something that day which is allowing me to respect myself in my head. Prioritizing muscle mass. Research shows that muscle mass correlates with longevity, cognitive function, and even career success. Aim to build it and maintain it throughout life. Not only are you going to look good, feel amazing, but your brain's going to work better. You'll have less brain fog. Your confidence is going to be through the roof. Everything will just be top tier, okay? As a man, who doesn't want to build muscle mass, right? We always want to look nice and big. So rule number 4, developing daily consistency. The truth about transformation is built through your daily habits and not occasional heroic efforts. Non-negotiable routines. You know, and you see it on my stories, you see it on my feed, that a morning routine is what has allowed me to become the person I am now and who I'm becoming, but from who I was before. And that is built from having discipline and self-respect. So in the morning, I always prioritize my first hour of the day. Okay, and they're the non-negotiables that I like to say. So when I wake up, still my morning routine right now, if you like. Okay, so I wake up first thing. I wake up at 5:30 every single morning. I get up. First thing I do is I go downstairs. I have my electrolytes. I have my creatine, and I get some sunlight first thing. That is if there is some sunlight in the UK. But yeah, getting some sunlight first thing after some electrolytes and creatine. And then what I do is I get my morning movement before I look at this thing. Okay, that does not come out until later on, because I used to always scroll, right? I'd wake up first thing and I just go on my phone as soon as I wake up, and it feels good in the moment, right? These systems are designed for short-term pleasure. TikTok, Instagram, Reels, they're for that dopamine. But once you do it first thing, it's just pure brain rot, okay? Stay off the phone for the first hour of the day. Don't go near it. Whatever it is, work, personal, leave it alone. Do something that's going to make you feel good. And what I do first thing is I go out and I do a 20 to 30 minute walk. First thing, like I just said with the progressive overload, doing something that's going to make it harder over time. So now my pace is a lot higher, and I'm working up to pretty much 5,000 steps every single morning. I'm on average doing about 3 or 4K at the moment, but I'm working up to that. Again, doing that is giving myself some self-respect, okay? System over goals. Focus on the process rather than just the outcome. Create systems that make consistent action inevitable. Don't just think about it'd be great to lose 5-6 stone, right? It'd be great to lose 20-30 pounds and pack on some lean muscle. Enjoy the process. Focus on what you need to do right now and what the man who you want to become would be doing on a day-to-day basis. Act like the man. Act like you've already done it. Okay? Because if you're always focusing on the outcome, you're going to get too caught up in it and you'll get frustrated when the results aren't coming as quick as you'd like them to, because this is, right, you're watching this day because you want to change and you do want to become a completely different person. But you've got to know that it is a journey and it is a self-development phase. It's a self-development journey and it takes time. So focus on the process, learn to enjoy it, and you will see the results come to you like that. If you're always focused on the final outcome, it's going to frustrate you. The third and final one is habit stacking, okay? So linking new behaviors to existing habits to ensure they become automatic parts of your daily routine. And what I mean by this is you don't have to be cutting out things that you're doing right now and eliminate your current life. Like, you don't have to completely chuck everything out the window and start from scratch. What we want to do is gradually build things and bring new healthy habits into your life and replace them for the old ones. Instead of just eliminating the bad ones straight away and just trying to bring in this perfect routine, which won't work if you're just starting from scratch and doing something like that. Bring in things into place one by one a week, 2 a week, and just implement them into your life. And then once they all come into play, it's going to work really, really well. So it's all about building things up over time and just making sure that we start stacking your habits instead of just trying to get through them as quick as possible and just bring these new ones into life, basically. Rule number 5 is prioritizing recovery and nutrition. Okay, these 4, if you can prioritize these and get these under your belt, which may take some time, okay? I don't expect perfection, because realistically, it's if you're coming from a certain place, picture where you're at right now. To get to where you want to be is going to require a lot of change. So gradually over time, if we can nail these 4 things, which I'm about to run over, and just make big improvements over time, you will absolutely crush it, okay? Arguably the most important one, the one that we all neglect, is sleep optimization. The thing that gives us the energy throughout the day, eliminates those cravings, improves our mood, balances out our hormones, is sleep, okay? We need to be aiming for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. Enhance it with consistent sleep, wake-up times, cool, dark rooms, and digital sunset, okay? Sleep drives your testosterone, your recovery, and also cognitive function, okay? One thing that I've found super helpful that not a lot of people do is, instead of setting a time to wake up, set a time to get to bed. And the reasoning behind this is, if you can start getting to bed at the same time every single night, your body will just wake up at the appropriate time, the time when it needs to. And you may think, oh, Alf, but if I do that, then I'm going to sleep in and I'm not going to be able to get to work, and I'm going to be late for work. Do both to begin with, right? So set a time that you need to go to bed and set a time that you need to wake up, and make sure that it's between 7 to 9 hours of high quality sleep. And if you can do that, eventually you'll be getting enough sleep. Say, for example, you get to bed at 10 p.m. You'll be getting up at 6 a.m. latest, and you'll have the whole rest of your day ahead of you. Plus, you've just got 8 hours sleep, so your energy and your mood is going to be fantastic. Okay, so moving on from sleep, the most important one is going to be nutrient density. Okay, we need to be focusing on whole, unprocessed foods that existed 150, 200 years ago. There's 90% of our supermarkets nowadays are all processed. It's all stuff that is factory made, and it's not good for you. It's not good for your body. It's going to make you crash, and it's toxic. Get rid of it, okay? We can still include them in moderation, but 80% of the foods that we consume all want to be from 200 years ago, okay? So yeah, focusing on whole, unprocessed foods, and that is going to mean consuming adequate protein, and how much protein you want to be building. If you're a man and you want to build lean muscle, no matter what age you are, is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's because right now you're just not getting enough. And once you stack it up, it's not that much, okay? 1 chicken breast, 4 or 5 eggs throughout the day, lots of Greek yogurt, some fish. That is it. That will hit your protein goal. You don't need to be turning to protein shakes. They're great to supplement your protein intake and make sure that we're hitting. For example, for me, I need to be hitting just about 200 grams of protein a day. So I have one shake which just boosts it. Okay, but always focus on foods that have been around for 150, 200 years, the natural foods that we used to eat years ago. Without the nutrition, you're going to feel like shit. You're not going to be able to build muscle mass. Your metabolism is going to slow right down. It's going to be super hard for you to drop body fat. It's not always about cutting out calories and restricting yourself from the foods that you love. You need to make sure that you're actually eating enough and you're actually eating the foods that you enjoy, so you have the energy. You're fueling your body correctly for your workouts, but also for your recovery as well. Hydration. Make sure you're drinking 3 to 4 liters of water daily. Okay, proper hydration improves your recovery, cognitive function, joint health, and nutrient transport. Final one, active recovery. Okay, this means light cardio, things throughout the day, which is getting your body moving and keeping you active. Let's say this, picture this. You go to the gym 3 times a week. But those other 4 days of the week, what are you doing? Are you walking? Are you running? Are you just sitting on the sofa and doing absolutely nothing? What's going on there, right? If you want to make incredible progress, we need consistency 7 days a week. And this doesn't mean you have to be in the gym every day, because you're going to see far better results with a structured program, training 3 to 4 times a week. But then you've got your active recovery in there those other days, right? And that just means getting your steps in, increasing your NEAT, your non-exercise active thermogenesis, which is basically things that you're doing throughout the day which don't require your heart rate to be elevated, but are still burning calories, which are going to put you in that slight calorie deficit or at maintenance, which is going to improve your composition. Okay, so active recovery, implementing mobility work, light cardio, massages, anything that is going to improve your stress management and is going to accelerate recovery between training sessions. When training, please take days off, because recovery is just as important as your training, if not more important. If you're not taking days off, you're not giving your body the sufficient rest it needs to actually go ahead the next day and perform at its best. So do not neglect active recovery. We need to be treating it right. So get out, go for those walks, and still do things that are keeping the body moving and putting you in a slight deficit, but is allowing your body to recover properly. Okay? Rule number 6, self-compassion over self-criticism. Let's compare negative self-talk to positive self-talk. First off, let's start with the cost of harsh self-criticism. Research shows that negative self-talk and perfectionism is only going to lead to increasing your stress hormones that impair your recovery. If we want to maximize recovery, we need to make sure that we're keeping stress levels on the lower side. Okay. Also, a higher likelihood of abandoning habits after setbacks. Let's say this, for example, you come down ill, you get a fever, but within those 1 to 2 days, those 24 to 48 hours, all you're doing is lounging around. Okay. If you come back from this illness, it's so easy to just continue with that. 2 days is the start of a brand new habit. So it's really, really important that we talk to ourselves positively and get back into that flow state. Talk to yourself positively, even when you've got the fever, even when you have these setbacks, and just know that it's okay. We're all human. We're never perfect, but it's just understanding and knowing how we're going to bounce back from those setbacks. Okay. Negative self-talk is also going to reduce your motivation levels and the enjoyment of the process. If you're dreading everything and you really don't want to do it, it's never going to work. You're always going to talk yourself out of it. You're always going to reach for that cake, and you're always going to focus and ask yourself, why am I doing this again? Like, someone remind me. Now, some positive self-talk practices which are going to battle against that is going to be speaking to yourself as you were a friend or a teammate. Respect yourself. This is you, your own person. Speak to yourself as if you were talking to a family member or a friend, or even a colleague or your boss. Speak to them professionally, speak to them respectfully, okay? View your setbacks as learning opportunities and not character flaws. Implement daily mindfulness practices 5 to 10 minutes per day. What I do, morning journaling every single morning without fail, and I basically write down everything that I'm grateful for, and I write down a game plan for the day ahead, so I know exactly what I need to get done. Okay, then what I do is at the end of the day, I come back to this and I write down what I've achieved okay, how my day has gone. And I just have this talk with me every single day, because it's so easy to get caught up in everything nowadays and just focus on work, come home from work, too exhausted to go to the gym, you eat, you go to bed, you wake up, do the same thing over and over again. Focus on effort and process rather than just the outcome. So like I just said in the slide before, it's really important, if you want to become the best version of yourself and if you genuinely want to transform your life, you need to appreciate and focus on the effort that you're actually putting in right now. Talk to yourself positively. Give yourself a pat on the back for the things and the efforts that you're putting in already, because that is what's going to allow you to continue and push even harder. Rule number 7: find your why and set audacious goals. Discover your core motivators, and that is going to come from identifying the deeper reasons behind your transformation. Maybe you want 6-pack abs and a chest, but what also is that bringing into your life? Maybe you want to be a better role model for your kids. Maybe you want to be a better husband, a better partner. Maybe you just want to respect yourself a lot more. It's a lot deeper than just looking good and feeling good. That's the byproduct. What is this doing for you long term? Better father, better family member. What is this doing for you? Okay, discover why you're doing this. What is your deep motivator, your core motivator? Okay, big, hairy, audacious goals that create excitement and momentum, as well as just looking good and training good. What would you like to be, and how would you like to look? How would the person that you want to be in 6, 9, 12 months, how would they want to look? How would they want to feel? How do they act? How do they wake up in the morning and talk to themselves in their heads? Choose things that are going to get you excited. Where do you want to be in a year from now? Do you want to be living in the same place? Maybe you want to be living abroad. Maybe you want to grow your business, start up a business. What is this going to do for you? As well as just looking good and feeling good, having that 6-pack, how is this going to help you develop? Finally, make sure you ignore the doubters, all right? You need to expect resistance from others when you set ambitious goals. Just know that it's coming. You're always going to have that one person, that 2 person, maybe a partner, a family member, a friend who finds it a little bit cringe. Or they don't want you to go after it. But the reason they're doing this is because they're jealous. This resistance often reflects their own limitations and not yours. They're jealous because they're too afraid of putting themselves out there and knowing the what if. They're too afraid of failure. All they want is comfort and an easy life. Okay, protect your vision and surround yourself with believers. Always chase your goals. Never give up on your goals because of other people. And lastly, rule number 8 is going to be seeking accountability. I cannot emphasize how much of a game changer this is. And let me just recap how much and what it does and how it influences your journey. A 95% success rate on average, okay? Men who train with accountability partners or coaches have a 95% higher chance rate than those who do it alone. And the reason for that, I can put this into perfect terms from experience. It's because we all have those days where we feel a little bit lower motivation, the cravings kick in, or we're just feeling low on energy. We haven't slept well the night before. Work has been a little bit too much. We're stressed out with work. And sometimes, naturally, one of the last things you may feel like going to doing is something for yourself. Maybe it's going for that walk. Maybe it's having that healthy meal, or heading to the gym. If you have someone in your corner that is holding you accountable and reminding you your why when you really don't want to do it, is what is the biggest game changer compared to going alone. Okay, you will 3x your results if you have that accountability and you have that structure from a coach, from myself, and it is going to get you there far much quicker than doing it alone. No guesswork, okay, just pure structure. Structure coaching accelerates the progress by 3 times compared to self-directed transformation efforts. And the reason for that is because of the structure. First of all, something that works for you, your body type, your lifestyle, your experience, your availability, and you're just not winging it. You have something that is backed, that is proven, that is going to get you from where you are now to where you want to be that much quicker. Okay, 80% habit formation. Those with community support or accountability stick with their habits 80% longer than the isolated individuals, right? Say, for example, you set out a goal or you make it your New Year's resolution to get to the gym and become fit. If you don't have the accountability or you don't have the structure in place, you're going to catch yourself out and you're going to give up after a couple of weeks. So having something that is designed around your life and having that accountability day by day is what is going to lead you to the path of success long term, okay? External accountability creates the structure that willpower alone cannot sustain. As human beings, motivation is guaranteed to run out and expire. It's not something that is going to last a lifetime. that is where the discipline is going to have to kick in, and is going to have to be there long term if you don't have the accountability. And it's very hard to keep that up in today's world. So to summarize, the main 3 pillars that you need to implement into your life if you want to see success. The first one is going to be a mindset foundation. This is where it all starts from, okay? You need to be cultivating ruthless honesty, anti-fragility, self-compassion, and purposeful goals. Your physical transformation begins with your mind. It's the computer. Think of it like that. Second of all, remember, is physical practice. So you need to be building your body through compound movements, progressive overload, and consistent positive daily habits that are going to compound and progress over time. Third and finally, sustainable systems. You need to be optimizing your recovery, your nutrition, and also accountability if you want to make your transformation permanent rather than just a temporary fix, rather than that 6, 8, 12-week period. Also, remember, it's really, really important to remember that the best shape of your life is not just about aesthetics. It's about building a bulletproof mindset, a resilient body, and a disciplined approach to every challenge that you face, every corner of life, your physique, relationships, business. Hopefully you gained a lot of value from this video. This is exactly the routine and the system that I have in place, my Prime system, that helped myself turn my life around and how I help my clients do the same. Okay, your journey to your Prime starts right now. Give this a try, see how you get along. But if you're sick and tired of the excuses that you currently have right now, that negative self-talk, the inner bitch inside of your own head, you're sick of how you look and feel, you're not happy with the man that looks back at himself in the mirror every single day, then do not worry. That is what I'm here for. I've helped hundreds of guys just like yourself transform their physique and their mindset through my Prime system, through exactly what I've just shown you. If this is you and you're sick and tired of the man who stares back in the mirror every single day, then do not worry, because I'm here to make this process far much easier for you. I've actually left a link down below for my calendar where you can book a one-to-one call with myself. We can jump on a call, we'll discuss your goals, your struggles, exactly where you're currently at, and we'll put a game plan together in place so the next 6 months of your life are the best 6 months you have ever had. And as always, go crush the rest of your day, and I will look forward to speaking with you very soon. Peace.